Now, before we continue, I want to do a pop quiz. How do children spell the word love? How do children spell the word love? And I don't mean L-O-V-E. How does a child with his or her parent spell the word love? So you have children, right? And the children might hear the words, hey, kids, I love you, blah, 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 blah. But how does a child spell that word love when a child's looking at a parent? I'm asking the kids, yes?
Obey.
Obey. Hey, that's
O-B-E-Y.
O-B-E-O-B-Y. Okay, obey. Now, I love that. A real spiritual kid would, but think about most kids. That's pretty good, though. I like that. Thank you. I was thinking of a slightly different. I love it, though. I love that answer. How does a youth looking to their parents, right? Like if the youth is saying, hey, parent, this means you love me. How do they spell the word love? Someone else have an answer.
Time. T-I-M-E. Time.
T-I-M-E?
Yeah.
Awesome, you got it. Yes. You got the right answer. T-I-M-E. That is how youth spell the word love. That is how they really spell the word love. Now, what are the third, fourth, and fifth place answers? Chocolate, or like money, or like a new car, or a used car. They can. But how do they really spell it from the heart of hearts? I mean universally. It's time. T-I-M-E. And why is time so important when it comes to communicating love? Because a parent shows they love their children by spending time with them. That is the most universal way of speaking about love. Time. T-I-M-E. Now, why, in the sense of this chapter, The Impossible Journey of Faith, do I start with that pop quiz? Because it's only by the parents spending time with their children can you really communicate the reason for the impossible journey, the resource for the impossible journey, and the victory of that journey. It takes time to communicate it. Spending time back and forth. Not just time talking, but doing all sorts of things, all sorts of things you could do with your children. And so we really make an emphasis in our home with all of us living in a community. That is, we live as a community. That is, we invest our time not only, but first in each other. Not only in each other, but first. We invest time. And so whether it's a household, the father, mother, and children, or a church, like the house of God, right? A local church where you have people gathered together, you show your love by spending time with them. And Abraham spent time telling the stories with Isaac. He spent time talking about, when I was 75 years old, I left Ur of the Chaldees and I had it made and I had all the money and everything. And your mom was there and she was pretty good looking. Then she got old. Oh, but she's still good looking. So he said that. It's like all this stuff, right? He's talking about with his family, with Isaac, what happened. He shared the stories. He took time to communicate a heritage of faith to his children. Isaac shares it with Jacob and Esau. Jacob shares it with his 12 sons. Not all of them listened, by the way. Not all of them listened to the stories. I mean, they politely listened, but they didn't listen with their heart. So the 12 sons were kind of different, right? They were a mix of sons and daughters too. The daughters and sons were all there listening to stories. And so let us make the commitment to spend time with our children, with God's family, with one another, communicating what really matters the most. I want to thank Walt Brock, because he wrote a really good book called Dangerous Detours in Parenting.